Hey everybody, welcome to our live. I am Heather, and we come to you live each and every day to learn about Luminous. And so it is a way for you to experience it, see it being done. Obviously, I start with no makeup on, and then we go through the process. I did name this one, you can mix airbrush with traditional makeup. A lot of people think that it has to be all or nothing when it comes to airbrush makeup, and that's not the case. And so I'm going to take you through some steps or some different ways that you can use traditional with air. I mean, you see me do traditional eyes and stuff like that, but you can do traditional blush. You can do traditional contouring, all of that kind of thing as well. Traditional concealer. And so, a lot of times people get the system home and they put it on like traditional makeup where you can see that opaqueness. How airbrush makeup goes on, we know that it's different because we're applying it this way, but how it actually goes on is also different. Meaning, hey, Andrea, how are you? Meaning you don't want to see that opaqueness. And I'll point out the differences when we get to that point. So hopefully it'll make sense. I don't know why my hair's a little, I washed it so it's a little curly today. So you'll see the difference. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, because I did get into some sun, hold on, I'm gonna see if I have my up close mirror in here, which I do. I am peeling. Hey, Brenda, thank you. I actually found, for those of you who don't know, my niece got married in Cancun this past weekend. And so I decided to do some lash extensions for that. And normally I'm allergic to them, so I found some that I'm not allergic to. So I'm very excited. But along with that, I started peeling, and I can already tell my hair is going to start because I don't know if you can still see it. Good morning. Oh, yay, Bridget just started using Luminess. I love it. So while we were in Cancun, my hat got stolen and my head got burnt. And so I also was not the best at putting on the sunscreen because I would put it on and then I missed hair up. So this part is red. It's already flaking. So I'm already starting to peel. The joys of being in the sun. Hey, Jeannie, how are you? Bridget, tell me, since you just started using Luminess, how's it going? How's it going with Luminess? I'm actually first, while she's, guys, I'm telling you, burnt scalp hurt. They had a lazy river, and so we just floated around the lazy river the whole time. But I'm going to use a little bit of tinted moisturizer, and this is traditional. So when you see this, right? That's what we see when we're putting on any kind of traditional makeup. Now, this is just a tinted moisturizer, but what I'm using it for is to get kind of a head start on covering some of the redness and evening out my skin tone. Because even hey, Brenda, how are you? Oh, yeah, I was like, I thought I said, you're saying hi to Jeannie. Even though I did put sunscreen on, I did get red in spots. So I'm using the tinted moisturizer just as kind of a pre-step to help me even out my skin tone. Now, would you have to do this all the time? Would you want to do this all the time? No. But we also know, because I've been doing this a minute, that in the beginning, people struggle with coverage, okay? And they struggle with coverage because they're applying it like traditional makeup, right? Coverage is done by making light passes around the face. So me, who's been airbrushing for 25 years, would I need to do this all the time, put the tinted moisturizer on to help with the coverage? No. But that's what I love about airbrush makeup is you can do different things to help you get that result. but ultimately you will get it down where it's a no-brainer. Okay. I'm gonna apply a little bit more because I see a little bit more redness. And again, this is just a tinted moisturizer, so I don't need to apply a bunch. I'm not looking for major coverage. So I don't need to keep kind of trying to build it up or anything. Not at all. Now I'm going to use a traditional concealer. I can put that on underneath my eye. I know that's what we talked about. Jeannie said it's hard because we need less makeup and look good with a tan, but not the burn. So true. Yeah, when I'm tan, I do feel, and that we talked about that yesterday, I don't feel I need as much makeup at all. Because you're tan. But since we did kind of a summer look yesterday, I'm kind of going, I'm stepping it up a bit. Now, again, this is all traditional up until this point. This I used, that concealer I used as a kind of as I use glow, but I used it as a concealer / highlighter underneath my eyes. It's broke underneath my eyes. And then, good morning, Cindy. So you can see how it highlighted underneath. You can see how, I mean, you can still see some different demarcations and discoloration on my forehead. You can still see a little bit of redness in my cheeks. So you can tell like I didn't 100% give me the coverage because I know I'm going to get 100% coverage on this. And so that way I can kind of just, you know what it's going to do. So I don't have to keep trying to build it up, if that makes sense. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to powder. Now, anytime you use a cream or, you know, like a traditional foundation, 9 times out of 10, you're going to need a powder. And some of you might be saying, well, Heather, you haven't even done your foundation yet. I know. That is the amazing thing about airbrush makeup. Powdering first, one, is going to help keep you matte. If you're oily, if you get shiny throughout the day, powdering before airbrushing does help keep you matte. Isn't that amazing? I love that. There's so much more stuff that you can do in less time getting ready with airbrush makeup. So I'm just going to powder. Ooh, now, of course, I don't want to powder a lot. Why? Because I'm going to peel. I'm going to peel. Oh, I'm already seeing it. If you want to do, 100%. I don't know if y'all, I'm a little OCD when it comes to peeling. And so now I'm going to have to start peeling my face. Which is not something I want to do when I'm airbrushing. But yes, Andrea, you 100% can do that daily. The whole thing, like your makeup look, my makeup look, Bridget's makeup look, Jeannie's, Cindy's can all be different. You do what works best for you. If you're not oily, you probably don't need powder. Okay. If you fight shininess, then powder. Okay. Because it's going to be different for everybody. Depending on the look that I want will change how I do my makeup, right? So you have to keep all that in mind. All right. So I powdered, I did my concealer, I did a little bit of tinted moisturizer before even getting started. So when I go to doing my foundation, wherever, I need glasses, I think. 5. Yes, it's a 5. I am using a 5 because my body is tan, and I want to match. Now I can be off a little bit if I feel like 5 is going to be too dark for my face. I could get away with a 3 and then contour a little bit with it, but I'm just, because I've done pre-coverage with the tinted moisturizer and I did concealer underneath my eyes, I can do a 5 because I'm not going to need that much. All right. So put my drops in here. Now remember, when airbrushing, you want to keep it 4 finger widths away from your face at all times. You also want to make sure that you keep that breeze moving. You keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. And this is the big thing, is you're barely going to pull down on that trigger. If you pull down all the way, you're going to get a on your face. And we don't want it on your face. Okay? Making light passes. And guys, look, this is not wet. It should not feel wet or sticky. Just remember that. Now, in the beginning, when you're a newbie and you're starting, guess what? It might feel wet and sticky because you're learning the trigger. You're learning this how light to pull down on that trigger. So if it is feeling wet or sticky, take your finger off the trigger, use the air to dry it with, but know that, hey, I might be pulling back. I might be pulling back too hard. I want you to question whether or not it's coming out. If it's just air, you can feel that it's just air. When it's a little bit of makeup, there is a little bit of coolness in that breeze. And so you'll be able to start feeling that. If you want to practice with water, you can practice with water. Water weighs heavier than the makeup. So it is, I mean, your face is going to be wet, but we just don't want it running down. Now look at that. Look how flawless my skin is looking. We saw it before, and it wasn't this flawless. The redness is gone. I'm even. I still have my highlight underneath my eyes. No, Bridget, it should not feel sticky. And a lot of people feel that way, okay? And let's talk about that for a second. That's all the foundation I'm going to do. It should not feel wet or sticky. There should not be any dry time between those passes. In the beginning, if there is, oh, it's okay. Take your finger off the trigger. Just use the air and dry it. But know that you are barely pulling down on that trigger. One thing I do classes. So Monday and Wednesdays at noon, I do small group classes. And one thing I have them do is put 8 drops of foundation in your system and make complete passes. And I want to see how many complete passes you can make with 8 drops. You should be able to make 3. You should be able to make 3 full passes with 8 drops of foundation. If you are using more than 8 drops, you're going way too heavy. You're pulling down too hard. You're letting too much makeup out, okay? So know at the beginning, if you're using 10 or 12, that's fine. But know that you'll probably end up getting to like 5, okay? If you do what we call pre-coverage, concealer, that kind of thing. If you do all that first, I only probably used about 5 because I just evened me out. I didn't have to use it for coverage. I can use 8 drops and get full coverage. Okay? So just know that going in. I'm going to try to use the rest of this real quick, but there, that was it. So I mean, it looks amazing to me. I'm not going to have to add any more. I'm going to add a little bit of blush. And a lot of times you'll see me do blush first. I do blush before putting on foundation. Why? Because again, if you are too heavy-handed and you get too crazy with the blush, I don't want you to look crazy, right? So 2 drops of blush is all you need. That is it. Finito. Bridget's like, wow, I'm using too much then. And that's, Bridget, you're not telling me anything I haven't heard or that anybody else hasn't gone through. The other thing, a lot of people get the moisturizer primer as well. If you are still feeling sticky, leave that off because it depends on your skin. It depends on where you live. I live in Texas. I don't need the moisturizer primer because one, I use a regular moisturizer, but it's hot here. We're going to be like up to 103 today or 104. So I don't need that on my face. And so I don't use it. There is a little bit of primer in the foundation. And so try it without the primer. Hey, Lori. All right. Does it make sense so far? All right. So now I can go in and normally what I love in the summer is Love. Love is a hydrating illuminator. It gives your skin some luminosity. However, I'm going to use our Optics palette. I'm going to use the pink one. Right there to give me a nice little shimmer. And then I'm going to take, and I always feel with lashes, like when I have my lash extensions on, I don't need a lot of eyes because I feel like that does a lot of the work. So I'm just going to take, let's see, what can we use? I'll take a flat eyeshadow brush and just with the maroony color that's in here, and it is matte because we used a shimmer yesterday. I'm going to try something new. I'm just going to apply some right there. Blend it out with my finger. And look, just that one color can make a difference. Now, also remember that first spot that you put the brush is where most of the makeup's going to go. So that's going to be where most of the makeup is concentrated. I'm just blending that out. And that's all you need. That's all you need, guys. You do not need, 82 steps for a beautiful eye. Nope. Do a little bit of the eyeshadow eyeliner underneath to frame the eyes. Now I could have stopped with right on top. Like I was fine with that. So you can change it up however you like. If you have, if you're putting on your eyeshadow and then you look and you're like, oh, I kind of like that, then don't add more. If you're looking and you're like, something's missing, then add more. Okay, makes sense? That was the Nude and Naughty. The Nude and Naughty, the burgundy color that's in there. Right there. But yeah, there's so many things. Like, just keep going until you get it, right? We're gonna fake it till we make it. And so you can try different things and see how how would it change if I added eyeliner? Maybe one day I don't, maybe the next day I do. So you can do everything differently. Oh, I love it. Andrea said she's had a second person tell her that she had flawless, pretty skin. I love it. New trend I saw was highlighter between brows. Like here between? I mean, I do it here, like I do it, but I wouldn't do a shine here. But I just kind of do it down my nose a little bit, and then there on my Cupid's bow. I love when we get like unsolicited compliments, like just strangers. Like, oh, I love that. Thank you. And I'm using an eyeliner. It's a little bit hinker. And I do like to go outside, not like way above, but just line on the outside. Oh, my nose is appealing too. I can see it. So I'm going a little pinker since I do have my pink dress on. And then you're good. And then you're good to go. I walked into one of their ladies' office today and she was like, I'm going to put on my sunglasses because you're way too bright today. Which is probably true. I'm really bright today. So, all right, guys, there you go. Well, I hope everybody has a marvelous, is today Thursday? Hope everybody has a yay Thursday. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. All right. Remember, play with it, ladies. Have fun with it. Try different things. I try to show you all kinds of different things on here so you can try it yourself and see what works best for you. See, if there's a certain look that you want to do. We all have a go-to look, right? We all have that go-to look that we know we can do in our sleep, but it's always fun to try and do something different. Do it different. So thank you so much for joining me. Remember, we're here Monday through Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Then Mondays and Wednesdays, I do small group classes at noon Central Time. We also have Dorothy on Facebook under Luminess Live, all caps and a space between Luminess and Live. Check her out. You can join our Luminess Live page. It's a way you can ask questions right away. She plays videos. She does different things on those on that. So you can jump in and talk to her. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you back here next week. Bye for now.